So the first thing, when IA is positive, S1 and S2 are on, so VA will equal to VDC, and IA will increase in the positive direction. So this is the Q1 operation. Now, the second possible scenario for the positive current, when S2 and D4 is conducting. So S2 is on and D4 is conducting. So S2 is on and D4. So the current is freewheel via the S2 and D4. In this case, the voltage VA will equal to 0. In this case, VA will equal to 0, and the current will start to reduce, and the energy will be stored in the inductance. What other possible scenario for freewheeling for a positive current is via D3 and S1 also. So we can see that this is S1 and D3. So in this case also it's a freewheeling. The same thing when S1 and D3 are conducting. The same thing here, we have VA will equal to 0 and IA will be reduced, and the energy will be stored in the inductance. Now, after storing the energy, if we have sufficient energy, we can feed the energy back to the supply via D4 and D3. You see it? Positive current, but the energy is fed back to the supply. So this will be the Q4 mode of operation. So D3 and D4 conduct. So in this case, VA will equal minus VDC. IA still will be increased in the positive direction. Then now the energy will be returned back to supply. So simply this is the all possible scenario for the positive current. Now what about the negative current scenario? So if IA less than 0, so this is Q1, let's say this will be Q4 operation. Now for the negative current, the first scenario is that when the current flow from the supply via switch number 3 and return back via switch number 4. In this case, the current is negative, the voltage will be negative, so this will be the Q3 operation, reverse motoring. So here S3 and S4 are on. So this means that VA will equal minus VDC. Do you see it here? The minus will be connected to the plus, so VA, the positive sense is plus minus. It's connected to the minus with the plus, so it will be VA equal to minus VDC. Now the current IA will increase in the negative direction, so the absolute value of that will increase, and this is actually the Q3 mode of operation. Now, if the switch S4 is on and the diode D2 conduct, in this case, the current is freewheel via the S4 and D2, and the energy is stored in the inductance. We have another source, or another way, that if the switch S3 and D1, S3 is on and D1 is conducting, so also the current will freewheel via D1 and S3, and the energy will be stored in the inductance. So in this case, the voltage VA will equal to 0 and energy will be stored. The same thing is also applicable if the switch S1 and we say it's negative, so it will be S3 D1. So VA will equal 0, energy is stored in the inductance. Of course, IA will be reduced. Now we are in the mode of storing energy. Now, if there is sufficient energy to be fed back to the supply, we can feed this energy back to supply via the diode D2 and D1. So when D1 and D2 are conduct, D1 and D2 conduct, in this case VA will equal to 1. Now let's see, the plus will connect to the plus, the minus to the minus, so VA will equal VDC, and the current is negative, so this will be the Q2 operation. So this will be the Q2 operation, and the energy is fed to the supply. So now this let's say converter, which consists of two legs, two quadrant chopper connected together to support the four-quadrant mode of operation. So here we can support Q1 mode of operation. Here is the energy storage, storing the energy, and this is the Q4 mode of operation if we have sufficient energy to feed it back to supply. The same thing, this is the Q3 mode of operation, and this is the Q2 mode of operation. So now this converter can support the machine in the four-quadrant mode of operation. So this is the torque, this is the speed, and this can support the machine in the four-quadrant mode of operation. Now, simply we need to synchronize the gating between the switches. So we need a gate pulse for that. We need a gate pulse for that. So now we can have a two scheme for the gate pulsing. So in general here, two switching scheme can be used. The first one is called the bipolar switching, and the second one is called the unipolar switching. And we will discuss the both of them.